Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of Toxic People. In part 1, we discussed general ways to identify and handle toxic people. In this video, however, we will do a deep dive on a particular relationship that troubles people on daily basis, that is, a professional relationship of a boss and a subordinate. Some bosses are toxic and trouble us on daily basis, but we let it go because we surrender to the situation, or are too concerned about losing our jobs if we retaliate. A 2018 poll from job search site Monster found as many as 76% of people say they currently have or recently had a toxic boss. Meanwhile, just 19% of respondents describe their boss as a mentor. A bad boss won't just jeopardize your career growth, they'll also negatively impact your personal life, says Lynn Taylor, a national workplace expert. Let's talk about 7 signs of toxic bosses and how to handle them. Indicator number 1. A boss who lies and changes his or her statement quite often is quite toxic and untrustworthy. Such a professional relationship isn't a good foundation for a long-term association. You can safeguard yourself from such bosses by examining what motivates your boss to lie. Remember that it's best to encourage honesty than to go on the offense or use sarcasm. Indicator number 2. A boss is supposed to lead by example and is supposed to constantly inspire you to do more, achieve more. But a boss that is never wrong is again very toxic, because learning to admit that you're wrong is one of the best things you can do for your colleagues. They're quick to blame you for mistakes, but rarely express gratitude when you succeed. If your boss refuses to admit that they're wrong, this means they're not willing to go out of their comfort zone for you. Admitting to mistakes sends a message to your employees that it's a safe environment to take informed risks and it is okay to fail if the intention is right. You can safeguard yourself from such bosses, who are never wrong, by not having only objective conversations. Act naturally, and mix it up with some personal conversations to give your boss some comfort that they are still at a pedestal, even after a mistake. Indicator number 3. A boss that gets a lot of work from you by giving a lot of overpromises. You might have been promised a series of promotions, increased responsibility, or a raise, but when the time comes, all you get is silence. With such bosses, it's often helpful to get to the truth through written documents like emails, if one-on-one discussions are getting you nowhere. Indicator number 4. Your boss is a micromanager. Is your boss so pushy and overbearing that you find yourself unable to accomplish anything efficiently? They also have a pesky habit of calling you on your off day. This may be a perpetual problem, so get ready for it early. You can handle such a toxic manager by over-communicating with a micromanager or needy boss. You'll diffuse their desire to constantly check in, while you build all important trust at the same time. Indicator number 5. Your boss has very evident favorites. No matter how hard you work, or the results you achieve, they somehow get unnoticed and someone else always gets the limelight. This someone is usually your boss's favorite person, and usually out of jealousy, you get into a confrontation mode with them. If you encounter such a boss, then it's best is to keep his or her favorite employee in good humor, because employee isn't the problem. If this favorite person is aligned to you, then slowly your boss will also lean towards you. Indicator number 6. One of the major signs of a toxic boss is when your boss constantly changes their mind. Does this sound familiar? In the morning, they tell you one thing. After lunch, it's a different story. Luckily, there is a way to handle such bosses. Pick the suggestions that benefits you most and pursue that direction. Kick the habit of being dependent on him in the first place. Never ask for permission. Instead, simply inform him of your intentions. If he has a problem with any of your decisions, he'll let you know. Indicator number 7. Passive-aggressive bosses are the biggest problem. Bosses with passive-aggressive behavior express their negative feelings subtly through their actions and words instead of handling them directly. For example, they may say something like this: "Was a mistake giving this task to you. I don't think you can handle it," etc. etc. Best way to handle such passive-aggressive bosses is to not reply to them at all. Such bosses are seeking a response, and if they don't get one from you, then they change their course automatically, and you are saved. So guys, hope this second part of the video on toxic bosses will help you to have a healthy environment at your office. Stay tuned for more informative videos and don't forget to subscribe the channel for humankind.